What's up, Willie? What's up?
What's up, big bro? All is well. Thanks for having me, man.
And I appreciate you coming on the show, man. And just so people know, it's not a sports show.
Okay.
We'll talk a little sports
We
now.
have sports figures on the show.
True.
Right.
That's
Okay.
It's just what it is.
Well, you have a lot of friends that play sports.
You're right. Right. And I mean, it's only fitting that I bring them in. But we're going to talk about life. We'll talk about, what's going on in your world. I see you on radio and on doing your YouTube show. Like, hopefully I'll be able to get on that show one of these times. Anyway, who I got to rub elbows with to get on there?
Man, you rubbing elbows with the right people. We're going to have you on ASAP. That's nothing. That's easy money.
All right. Done deal.
Yeah, man.
So tell us, like, we're in this time right now about the NFL draft. And what was your draft experience like?
So I don't know if a lot of people know this. You're supposed to have a landline and a cell phone. That's what's required when you enter into the draft. So your agent has access, the team has access to you when they want to pick you. I went home to my sister's house. She had a brown leather couch, and I ended up crashing there. Mind you, it was like 80. It was like 85 degrees, 90 degrees. It was kind of like a warm day, and so I went to sleep that night, sweat my ass off on this brown leather couch. Well, so I wake up, get ready for the second day of the draft. It's around like 10 o'clock in the morning. I go to get my phone. My phone's not working. My phone's not working. It won't turn back on. I have no idea what the hell is going on. I'm nervous. I just got off this hot-ass, sweaty couch in my sister's house. I'm an absolute wreck. Mind you, me not thinking, like I started the story. You need a landline. Well, the landline I gave him was to my quarterback's house, not my sister's house. So right now, I currently don't have a cell phone. I currently don't, the people that I expect to be calling me at this moment don't have my sister's landline. So what makes it worse, my agent can't get in touch with me. Teams can't get in touch with me. I'm totally screwed. So I'm about to throw up all over the damn place. My nerves are a wreck. So Dolphins come up on the board. I'm like, all right, this is it. Even though my phone's not working, landline's not working, I'm just expecting my name to go. My name doesn't go. They end up getting, I think, a tackle out of Washington. And then I thought I was going to go to the Bills. I said, okay, here goes the Bills. Boom. Bills take somebody else. So I'm like, all right, well, I just got to buy my time. My phone miraculously turns back on. It's my agent calling me. He goes, Willie, what the fuck is wrong? Can I curse on here? I'm sorry.
Yeah, go for it.
Oh, okay. He's like, what the fuck is your problem? I'm like, Joe, my agent name was Joe Linton. I'm like, Joe, man, I don't know what happened. My phone. He's like, this is the wrong time for your goddamn phone not to be working. What the hell is going on? So I'm like, I'm working. I don't know what's wrong. I don't know if I didn't charge it, whatever. He goes, all right, well, stay by he goes, well, the Cowboys just tried to call you. They just wanted to have a conversation with you. They're in talks of maybe picking you up in the later rounds, da. So now I'm in full throw up mode. Like I done blew an opportunity with the goddamn Cowboys. The two teams that I thought I was going to land with are both already taking offensive linemen. It's the fourth round. I'm giving all hope. Now I'm a nervous wreck. I look like I was in a hostage negotiation situation. I'm having a full meltdown. And my sister's like, baby, you want some eggs? You want some bacon? I'm like, Joy, just do something. Just make something, do something, whatever. I put my phone down on the table. We had like a little terrace. So I walked to the terrace. Once again, it's hot. I'm sweating. I'm a nervous wreck. She can see that. I'm anxious. And I'm at this point, I feel like I done blown an opportunity with the goddamn Dallas Cowboys. She goes, so about 20 minutes go by, a couple more picks go by. My phone rings. And I'm like, who the hell is it? I'm like, is it Joe? Is Joe calling me to cuss me out again? She's like, no, it don't say Joe on here. It says 412.
Hey.
So I'm like 412. I was like, well, shit, pick it up. She picks it up. She's like, can we, it was at the time it was Coach Cowher on the phone. Coach Cowher, can we talk to Willie Colon? And mind you, prior to this draft, when I visited Pittsburgh, Mark, I was only in the building for 25 minutes. I thought the Pittsburgh Steelers hated me. Actually, I thought I was
wasting our time.
Right, I thought it was actually one of the worst visits I had taken at the time because I met Coach Grimm at the time, who was the offensive line coach for the Steelers. They already had won a Super Bowl, so they really didn't need me. Right. I'm in this office line room with, once again, Russ Grimm, who is one of the original Hogs from the Washington Redskin days. So I'm like, man, and then I sit down and talk to Russ for about 15 minutes. He pushes me into Coach Cowher's office. I talked to Coach Cowher for about 5 minutes, and then I was in a limo on a plane back to New York. So I was like, Pittsburgh Steelers, they just did it to kind of just see who I was. They really didn't care about me.
Right.
Fast forward, I get the call from Coach Cowher on draft day, like, hey, do you want to be a Pittsburgh Steeler? I'm like, shit, hell yeah. And as he's saying this, he's like, all right, well, we're going to take you coming up. We'll see you in Pittsburgh. Mind you, I don't even know what Pittsburgh's at. I don't even know what Pittsburgh's at. The only thing I know is my mother was a diehard Steeler fan. If Franco Harris could have had a shot on my mom on a Saturday night, he probably would have been my daddy. Like, that's all I know about the Pittsburgh Steelers. I know they had won the Super Bowl. I know about Jerome Bettis. I don't know where Pittsburgh's at. Coach Cowher's like, hey, do you want to be a Pittsburgh Steeler? I'm like, hell yeah. As I turn around, he's like, well, we're calling your number and name right now. And sure enough, as I'm sitting there in this hot ass Bronx apartment, I'm looking at the TV. My name goes across in the 4th round, 131, Willie Colon to the Pittsburgh Steelers. I actually cried my goddamn heart out, Mark. I
love it.
Bro, I damn near, I turned into a starfish. I just start sucking to the floor. I'm crying so goddamn hard. And
ain't nothing wrong with that. Like, that's a moment where your life is going to be like permanently, and for the end of time, that's going to be what you identified as, that the guy that played for the Steelers. And I've had those moments in my life, and I remember them like they was yesterday. The way you described it with such detail, like you remember everything when it's a moment like that. It was just, golly, I felt it for you.
Man, and what's wild about it is, you get drafted. Like, every young man's gonna get drafted. Like I didn't have, like, for me, I grew up a big college football fan. I wasn't really a big NFL fan. I grew up a big Giants fan. I love Lawrence Taylor. And that's really, when you're from New York, and I guess like anywhere else you're from, you just care about your hometown team. I was a hometown guy. So the Giants were everything. I knew everything about the Giants. I didn't really know about other teams. So when as I started playing football, obviously high school I did well. In college, I was able to have some accolades. College, for me, being an All-American was all I ever wanted to be, because I grew up watching Saturday football, watching Michigan, watching Nebraska, watching the U, and all the guys were All-Americans. So I'm like, man, that's the pinnacle. I never saw myself going to the NFL. For me, to real talk, as I was praying, as I graduated, first of all, my senior year, it took my offensive line coach, shout out to Damian Robluski. He was like, listen, man, you need to start taking this serious, because I don't think you understand the position you're in. I'm like, Coach, I don't see so many guys there senior year leave, get tryouts at training camps, and they'll be back in November because they didn't make the team. I don't want to be that guy. I'm at this point, for me, I'm trying to eat. I'm like, how am I gonna pay this rent? How am I gonna put food on my back? How can I eat? I know I wasn't going back to the Bronx, so my next step was, I got to figure out how I'm gonna get a 9 to 5, because Mama didn't have it. You know what I mean? So I was thinking more real life things. The NFL seemed so far fetched to me, and it took for my offensive line coach to be like, hey, buddy, you got a legit shot. There's a window that you need to attack. If you do it right, you may have a shot at this. And so that's when I started looking for an agent, training a little bit harder, kind of lining stuff up about what I was going to do after I graduated, because I really wanted to go into law enforcement. I had an uncle who had worked DEA. I wanted to be the guy. I wanted to be one of those guys busting drug dealers that I grew up with.
Whoa, buddy, whoa.
So that was kind of where I wanted to go. And my O-line coach was like, no, you may have something else in store for you. And it just shows you that, when God has a plan for you, and fate is already destined, it's not really nothing you can do. You just got to get in line and take that ride. So me being a Steeler was, getting drafted to the Steelers was just, it was surreal, man. It was a surreal feeling.
I had a real good time going to Pittsburgh as a wrestler, because during, I guess, were you on the team when Kevin played there?
Yeah.
So you played with my cousin, and
okay.
I remember coming to see him and meeting Coach Cowher like the first time, and And he was like, "Damn, is everybody in y'all family big?" He was like, "Yeah, pretty much." Like
Yeah.
Kevin was a monster.
Yeah, the thing about it's funny you bring this up. Like most rookies, a lot of the first round guys are going into situations where they're going to be forced to change the franchise, right? Like if you're Joe Burrows right now, if you're Tua, if you're even if you Chase Young from Ohio
Yeah.
State, you're not going there to have a year off, like kind of figure yourself out in the NFL. You're going there to have immediate impact right now. Like they're expecting you, all right, put your helmet, your cleats on, go get his 10 and 12 sacks, Chase Young. Oh, Joe Burrows, I need you to make our offense.
We need to go to
Last year was
playoffs.
ranked 20. Yeah,
Right.
exactly. We need you to go now. I was fortunate enough where I was in the fourth round. I was able to kind of sit back, but I also had to be ready. Like for instance, I try to tell everybody, I didn't have a bad rookie experience because my rookie experience, I had champagne problems. They had won a Super Bowl, so when I got drafted to the Steelers, the city was still on fire from them winning the Super Bowl last year.
Right.
So when the Steelers were partying, shit, I was partying because I was a Steeler too. So
I was with you.
Right. So when Jerome Bettis and Joey Porter and Troy Polamalu and all these guys was getting the groupie love, my young sprung ass was getting groupie love too. You ever seen the scene of the Goodfellas when LaMotta he goes up to the restaurant and they put his table right in front of the stage?
Yeah.
Mark Henry, I didn't earn shit. I didn't do shit. And they was like, Willie Colon? Yes, right to the front, please. I was like, oh shit, I can get used to this. You know what I mean? So I had champagne issues. Like I was basking off what the team had did last year.
Right.
So I was a la carte everything. And I was like, it was crazy. I still had that New York mindset. I was still a kid from the Bronx who's rough, tough, and rugged. So, remember that song Ghost Ride the Whip?
Yeah.
Remember
Mr.
that
Fab,
shit?
Mr. Fab.
I remember, man, big dog. I remember my rookie year. We had played the Dolphins on Monday night. Ben did not play that game because he got hurt in an accident. The starting quarterback for that game is Charlie Batch.
CB.
Charlie Batch starts that game. We go into damn near overtime against the Dolphins on Monday night. We hit Heath Miller up the seam. He goes yard. Steelers win. After that game, they're talking repeat. They're calling us back to back. Oh, there's no way the Steelers are going to lose another game. The city is already expecting us to go back to the Super Bowl. So the anxiety and kind of the execution of how we're performing steps up like ridiculous. Now we're practicing like, man, it's Super Bowl bust. We got to go back.
Yeah.
The whole team is here. Why wouldn't we go back? So now here I am, a young fella that don't know shit from Shiola, is still struggling to spell my name. I'm now on a championship team practicing like a championship player. So my urgency, my alertness, how I had to excel, it went through the roof. Like I had to learn fast because these older guys wasn't waiting around for me to develop.
Right.
And what happened later that year, our right tackle, Big Mac Starks, end up tearing his MCL. Warming up for the game. All he did was do a jog around the field to get warmed up and tore his MCL. He stepped in one of the potholes. By the way, guess who is he going against? He's going against a young Julius Peppers.
Ooh.
So now I'm in the locker room and they're trying to figure out. I'm not supposed to dress this game. They're trying to figure out, Willie, if we have your pads, or we don't know if we can dress you, or we're going to dress you and go, or if we're going to let Max go. They end up shooting Max up. He ends up playing the game. Doesn't give up a sack against Julius Peppers. He's an absolute dog that game. Played with a torn MCL. Balls the hell out. The next game is a Christmas game. My first game in the NFL, I tell everybody, was after Big Max gets hurt against Carolina. The next game is against the Baltimore Ravens. That's my first start. And we're not talking about these little pansy Baltimore Ravens that are out there now. Still a good defense, by the way.
Yeah,
with all respect to them.
Yeah.
But at the time, we're talking about Ray Lewis, Ed Reed, Bart Scott, Trevor Pice, Terrell Suggs, Jarrett Johnson. We're talking about the killers of all killers. It looked like Master Shredder and the Foot Clan showed up in Heinz Field. That was my first start. You talk about welcome to the NFL, son. I remember getting in my stance, and Trevor Price, who stood all of 6'7", he's a big man. he was notoriously known for having this inside rip move. Like he would just line up, head up on you, and he would just rip inside, and he would pretty much carry you to the quarterback. Here I am starting on the Super Bowl line, right? I'm the young dumb fuck of the group, don't know shit, can barely tie my cleats up. Willie, go out there. I can remember all week practicing against that move. That my coach is Russ Grimm, Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
He goes, listen, I don't give a shit. He's like, Willie, I don't give a shit if you turn around, you block him backwards. Just don't let him hit Ben. Do your job, you'll be fine. I practiced against this rush move all week after practice. I'm having anybody do this rush move against me so I can stop this inside charge. First play of the game.
Inside rush.
Inside move. Not only does he damn near pick me up in the process, he knocks Ben over. Ben gets the ball away. I'm laying next to Ben. He's on top of Ben. Ben looks at me like, holy shit, this is going to be a long day. My heart is now pounding out of my chest. One, because the move I just practiced all week against, I haven't stopped. And I didn't stop the whole goddamn game. I was nervous as shit. Two, I just got Ben Roethlisberger, who I started quarterback, hit. Three, I get up off the floor and I look at the sideline, and Bill Cowher is skull fucking me at this point because he's trying to figure out, do I have to now pull my quarterback against the number one ranked defense because our right tackle can't block, or does this right tackle can he play in the NFL? Because right now, what we just saw, he can't get the job done. So it's fight or flight, bro. So now at this point, everything I had trained for, I had learned. I said, fuck that. I'm going to fight this motherfucker. And that's what I did. For 4 quarters, if you go back to the film, my footwork is all over the place. I'm probably doing, it's live or die for me at this point. So I'm grabbing, I'm fighting, I'm jumping over piles, I'm jumping on back of people's legs. I'm doing anything and everything to keep him off Ben and do my job. And needless to say, I make it out of that game. I'm dog tired. I've never been that tired in my life. They start me the next day against Sam Adams.
Jesus.
Sam, if you don't know who Sam Adams is.
I'm going to tell you who Sam Adams is.
Okay.
Sam Adams played behind my brother at A&M.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
And he went to Jasper, Texas. I was at Silsbee, Texas. We both got recruited together to go play with R.C. Slocum at A&M, which I was never going to go to A&M.
Right.
But Sam is an Adams, and my grandmother is an Adams, and they're like, so Sam is my second cousin.
Oh, it makes sense. Y'all both wide and got that.
We grew up together. We grew up playing against each other, but like my grandmother is from Jasper, and ended up coming to living in Silsbee. But Sam, like, man, we grew up together.
Yeah, so that next game, the last game of the season, because we were still partying from the year before. Our schedule, our record was kind of choppy. We need this game going into the last. So that last year was 2000. So it was 2006, my rookie year. The last game of the season, we're playing the Bengals. I'm going against Sam Adams. I'm watching Sam Adams on tape. Mind you, I just played the Baltimore Ravens. Barely made it out alive, but I made it, thank God. I'm going against the Bengals. They're like, Willie, you got big Sam Adams. And I'm saying, okay,
rush spin move.
Whatever. Mark, this motherfucker stood up, bro, on tape one time. And I'm watching tape. This is not even live bullets. I'm watching tape. He stood up, and there was like a guard like blocking him. He benched him up, threw him, stiff-armed the center, and waited for the running back to hit his chest. And I said, this is for me? You don't give me all this today? I got this waiting for me on Sunday? Man, we fly out to Cincinnati. I'll never forget it. We fly out to Cincinnati. I'm in my head. I'm like, all right, dog, like, here we go. It's time to ride. So we run out there. First person I see is big-ass Sam Adams. So I'm like, all right, I'm going back into like, all right, I got to fight this motherfucker. Fuck all the technique. I got to go suit the bone on the floor. Go get the bone, Willie. Sure enough, we tussle. We get into it. I start getting my blood going. We going through the game. And then it's like around the third quarter, I get in a fight. I get in win a fight because one of the guys I had Santonio Holmes. He was a rookie with me. So one of the guys hit Tone for like at the later play. I jump on the guy. Kyra is like, Willie. So I'm like, oh shit. I end up getting a penalty. So I'm in the huddle. Ben goes, man, don't look over there. This will be all right. It's a TV timeout. Just don't look over there. Kyra is now at the 50. He is on the field screaming my damn name.
Don't look.
He's like, Colon, get over here right fucking now. So I'm like, now the huddle opens up like the Red Sea. So I'm like, oh shit. So I kind of, I jog over there with my head down. He goes, look at me right goddamn now. So I'm like, yes, coach. He goes, keep up the good work. Just don't get a fine, all right? I love you. So I'm like, okay. He's like,
yes.
Like, you're kicking a lot of ass out there. He's like, you're frustrating Big Sam. That's what we want. He's like, that's what we want out of you, man. Good shit. We just don't need the flags, all right? He goes, so he looks at me, he goes, he's like, whatever you do, when you turn back around, don't smile. The camera looks like I'm chewing your ass out, and that's what we're doing, all right? I'm like, all right, cool.
Man, listen, I can't wait to have you on again. We got to have you on again so we can just chop up like we're doing now.
Yeah.
We getting into this draft, and we got a couple of guests coming on. But, man, listen, I miss you, man. It's been a while since we hung out. I can't wait for this damn pandemic to be over. I'm in closet fever right now, cabin fever, and it's killing me. But
Mark,
we got to get out of New York.
Mark, can I sneak one? Can I sneak one draft question in here?
Sneak one in there.
Put it in there, Dino.
I want to know some insight on who we like as a tackle coming out this year.
I'm gonna be honest, man. There's a lot of talk about the big fella coming out of Louisville.
Yeah.
Back then, a lot of people love him. They love him because you can't teach size, right?
Sure.
Like the kid is 6'7", he's monster. I actually went to Senior Bowl and saw him. He's impressive. But there's a young kid who I fell in love with when I was down in Mobile by the name of Josh Jones out of Houston.
Okay.
The fella is impressive. He has some fundamental issues, but he's a dog. What I mean by that, like Coach Tom used to say this, and you talk about what makes the DNA of a Steeler or a football player, but mostly a Steeler. He used to always say, I'd rather say woe than sick him. You don't have to say sick him with this young fella. Yeah. He sees it. He's in the battle. He's going to compete. He started slow in the Senior Bowl, but I guess once he got out there with the rest of the big dogs, he let his wings fly, and he got after. He had a really good Senior Bowl. So I'm really impressed with him. There's another 6'4" kid coming out of Iowa, Tristan Wirfs. I'm messing his name up. But he was actually, Mark, you appreciate this. He was a power lifter. I think his numbers was something stupid. I can't go into the stats, but he was a big-time power lifter and clean and discus. He has an impressive record out there in Iowa. So it looks like the Jets or Giants are looking at him. He may end up in Tampa, too, because Tom needs protection. So those are the two young fellas I really like. But if I had to pick number one, and obviously there's the kid, Jedrick Willis from Alabama. You got him.
Yeah.
But for me, I'm excited to see where Josh Jones out of Houston goes.
What's the best piece of advice that you got that you could share with some people coming into the league this year?
For me, it's just a different NFL. You know what I mean? Like the NFL I walked into I was going into a locker room full of 30-year-olds. Yeah. A lot of these kids are walking into the locker room with guys their age or probably not that much removed, and so like I just talked about the stories. I had to fight either I was going to get it done or I wasn't. Now these guys, you kind of have to baby a little bit more. You got to kind of talk to them and kind of push them along the way. So it's a different NFL. But to say all that, for a young guy coming in, man, just do your job. Like, know your job. I don't think guys know their job well enough. They may know their position, but they don't know their job. So, and you have to separate your emotions. You have to separate your aspirations, your emotions, and what you want to do for the betterment of the team. And I think young guys come in and don't understand that. Like, if they're paying you to block, then goddamn block. However you feel about the offensive line coach, the head coach, or the front office, doesn't matter. Do your job, learn your job, and understand the why in everything you do. Because if you can understand the why, then that opens up the offense, that opens up your eyes and able to attack, and then that's when your true talent can come through.